The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
After a lifetime in the public eye, former First Lady Tess Carlisle retired to her Ohio home. But she did not go quietly.
What do we look like, waiters? Are we a bunch of waiters?
Just ask the Secret Service agent.
I can't do 3 more years of this.
Guarding Tess.
We are going to the opera in Columbus.
Mrs. Carlisle, that emergency alarm is diffused.
That alarm belongs to me, and I will use it by God anytime I see fit.
How is she these days? What's she like?
I guess you could say she's several different personalities in one.
Well, one of her personalities called the White House last night and asked the president if he could arrange for you to stay on with her.
The president.
We are not leaving this house until you are seated properly with your seatbelt firmly fastened.
Nope.
It's the worst assignment there is.
I need a price check and LeSueur baby peas.
They're on special today, 2 for $59.
Copy that, Doug, but I believe we've lost interest in peas. Repeat, lost interest in peas.
Would you be kind enough to get my ball?
I'm a Secret Service agent, Mrs. Carlisle. Not a caddy.
I told her, you want that ball, you go find it yourself. Come on. What are you, crazy?
I'd be very careful if I were you, Agent.
Doug, telephone. Please hold for the president.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Well, I'm not too good. I'm having a damn Tess Carlisle problem. Maybe you and I know what a pain in the butt she is, but this one is a national treasure.
I wouldn't tick her off. A couple of more phone calls to the White House and you'll be...
Guarding my dog. You understand what I'm saying?
Go.
Doug, she took off!
Tell them they're just out joyriding again. It's not a problem.
7 well-trained, heavily armed men can't take care of one little old lady.
Damn! You should have a martini. You should, better yet, give a tired old widow a break.
Shirley MacLaine.
With all due respect, why me?
Because I like you, Douglas.
Please hold for the president.
Nicolas Cage.
I don't get it myself. One day she calls me, says she can't live without you. Next day she's calling almost in tears. You know, maybe you two have some kind of sicko thing going on.
No, sir.
Guarding Tess.
I'm counting on you, and so's the country.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo.
And I'm your co-host, Kyle.
Kyle, today we'll be talking about a movie you picked out a couple weeks ago, Guarding Tess from 1994. I was just a small sophomore in college. High school, not even college yet.
I was a little more than half a year. I think I was actually a little less than half a year old when this movie came out.
So, Kyle, before we get started, I'm going to ask you a question.
What
is your favorite Nicolas Cage movie?
My favorite Nicolas Cage movie? Probably The Rock. Probably the best one. It's a close follow-up being Face Off. I mean, that whole year of Con Air, Face Off, and The Rock, just insane.
Yeah.
Probably
I thought you were going to say Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Oh, yeah. Ghost Rider 2, Spirit of Vengeance. Yeah. But no, The Rock probably... I think The Rock probably is Michael Bay's strongest film to this day still.
Well, there was a point there where Nicolas Cage, I think when he had that run of, I think it was like 8mm, Con Air, Snake Eyes, and Face Off... Those were in The Rock. Those were like 5 back-to-back really, really good movies.
Yeah. Just really incredibly strong action films. It's just Nicolas Cage, incredible actor.
Yep. So.
Yeah. Which one's your favorite, Jimbo?
Peggy Sue got married. No.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Probably.
The Weatherman.
Let me see. Well, no. What was He's done some really good ones, and he's done some that's not lesser known ones too. But probably Face Off, I would have to say. Face Off is just too good of a movie to...
Mm-hmm. I always think of that as more of a John Travolta film, though, too.
Right.
Now, granted, they mixed that intentionally, but still, I always think of that more as a John Travolta film as a leading man. But
that's probably either that or The Rock. The Rock's really good, too, because I like Sean Connery, so...
That's fair enough as well. Yeah. Incredibly strong films. And, Nicolas Cage has one of the strongest filmographies in Hollywood, period.
Now do you know why he went down into the money problems that he had?
There's a lot of reasons going on, but main reason he's a giant nerd who spends a whole lot of money.
Didn't he buy Madame LaRue's torture house down there in New Orleans or something at one point or something?
Yeah. He also bought a stolen dinosaur at one point,
as we all have.
Bought incredible cars that he had put inside his house. I don't mean in a garage. He put it inside his house.
Seconds too.
Yeah, Gone in 60 Seconds as well.
But if you could, Kyle, if you could buy any stolen dinosaur, what stolen dinosaur would you buy? I think mine would have to be the gigantic one that Pee-wee from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where they go up there and they sit up there and watch the sunset in the mouth of it.
I'd buy a stolen Triceratops, and when they say, you stole this Triceratops, no, Triceratops don't actually exist anymore, so it's fine.
And then you can be transform and roll out and move it through the
Exactly.
I forgot his name in the Transformers.
Turn into the Power Rangers Zordon, the giant robots. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, but Nicolas Cage, there's a lot of crazy stories about him, and it's amazing how many of them are true.
And he's really good in his movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even his cheaper movies, we'll say B movies, if you will. They're still really good.
Nicolas Cage has been in a lot of bad movies, but it's not bad because Nicolas Cage was in them.
But was there something that was ordered by the judge where he had to appear in anything that was offered to him because
I don't think that was the case, but he did run into some pretty severe financial problems for a little bit due to some tax reasons, I believe, and so that's why he was accepting all those roles. But it wasn't like a court mandated thing that he had to take all these roles. It was one of those things where just he needed to get income fast, and so he didn't really have a choice in the matter. But I don't think it was actually a mandated thing. He couldn't decline any role. It was a thing where just just make money quick, and he did. And even then, some of those movies, there's kind of moments that are kind of shine, even though he took a lot of roles that were bad. And once again, reiterate, a lot of he appeared in a lot of bad movies, but none of those movies were bad because Nicolas Cage was in them. They were just bad movies straight off, and then Nicolas Cage is there doing what he can, and so he did a lot of good stuff there. But we should talk about the movie problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, this isn't the Nicolas Cage hour. This is the...
Maybe we'll make that exclusive podcast, Nicolas Cage episode. We haven't done that enough, even though we talk about doing it all the time, Pacific Actors podcast shows. If you ever want that, let us know, Ashley. We'll do more of that.
We'll make Kyle do it on his own.
Yeah. But anyways, Jimbo, today we're talking about, like you said, Guarding Tess, released on March 11th, 1994. Like I said, I was less than half a year old. This movie came out, so because October to March, so wow. Follows the story of a former U.S. First Lady who wants a particular service agent to head her bodyguard detail, even though he can't stand her, and hijinks ensue. This is a comedy film, directed by Hugh Wilson, written by Hugh Wilson as well, and P.J. Tourkev. Toravi. Wow, I mispronounced that name immediately. Starting off strong, Jimbo. Starting off strong. Produced by Nancy Graham Tannen and Ned Tannen. Composed by Michael Convertino. Cinematographer, Brian J. Reynolds. Editor, Sidney Levin. Casting director, Alita Chappelle. And production designer, Peter S. Larkin. This movie had a budget of $20 million in 1994. Adjusted for inflation, that'd be about $42.1 million today. Opening weekend, it brought in just $7 million. Just for inflation, it'd be about $14.88 million today. But luckily, gross worldwide made its money back at $27.1 million. Just for inflation, it would be about $57 million today. So it made a modest earnings, pretty often. It probably broke even at the end of the day, or a little bit less, but still, it was modest. So good for it on that count. Some of the awards for the film, we had 2 nominations. For the 1995 American Comedy Awards, it was nominated for American Comedy Funniest Actress in a Motion Picture to Shirley MacLaine. By the way, this is my favorite Shirley MacLaine movie. I've seen quite a few of them. And in 1995 Golden Globes, it was also nominated for Best Performance by an Actress in a Motion Picture, also to Shirley MacLaine. Some of the technical details of this film. This film has a runtime of just 96 minutes. Sound mix was in Dolby Stereo. This is a color film. Laboratory results where this is a Technicolor film, actually. So actually had more bright, vibrant colors through that kind of lens. Has a film length of 2,617 meters. And that follows technical details right there. Fun fact about the filming locations, this film was actually filmed on location in Maryland, USA. So a lot of places in Maryland, like Mount Washington, Baltimore, and places like that. So pretty cool right there. And also Washington District, Columbia as well. So filmed on location for those individual shots of, Washington. So cool on that end. Moving on here, we're going to go to the cast of the film. We, of course, have legendary Shirley MacLaine playing Tess Carlisle. Shirley MacLaine, best known for such films such as Terms of Endearment in 1983.
Endearment.
In Terms of Endearment, sorry, I did mispronounce that, didn't I? We also have The Apartment, which we covered on this very podcast as well, and Steel Magnolias, which is the film we'll probably cover on this podcast someday. Then next up, of course, we have the legendary Nicolas Cage, who we just, fanboyed out about just a few minutes ago. Such films, Nicolas Cage playing Doug Chesnick. Nicolas Cage, of course, also appeared in films like Con Air, The Rock, 8mm, Snake Eye, Leaving Las Vegas, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Face Off, 1997. Just a whole ton of films. Like one of those things, like if you watch movies, good chance 1 in 5 of them are all Nicolas Cage films. So pretty funny on that end. Next up, we have Austin Pendleton playing the role of Earl Fowler. Austin Pendleton also appeared in such films such as What's Up, Doc in 1972. Then next up, we have Edward Albert playing the role of Barry Carlisle. Edward Albert also appeared in Butterflies Are Free in 1972. James Rebhorn appeared playing the role of Howard Schaefer. James Rebhorn also appeared in the film Independence Day in 1996. Richard Garriffs plays the role of Frederick. Richard Garriffs also appears in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And many of the other Harry Potter films as well. Then next up we have John Rosales playing the role of Tom Baylor. John Rosales has also appeared in Lost Highway in 1997. Then next up we have David Graff playing the role of Lee Danielson. David Graff also appeared in Police Academy in 1984. Then next up we have James Lally playing the role of Joe Spector. James Lally also appeared in The Birdcage in 1996. Then we have Brant Von Hoffman playing the role of Bob Hutchison. Brant Von Hoffman also appeared in Police Academy in 1984. Then we have Harry Lennox playing the role of Kenny Young. Harry Lennox also appeared in Man of Steel in 2013. Then we have Susan Blomart playing the role of Kimberly Cannon. Susan also appeared in The Blacklist in 2013. Then we have Dale Dye playing the role of Charles Ivy. Dale Dye also appeared in Mission Impossible in 1996. Then James Handy playing the role of Neil Carlo. James Handy also appeared in the film Jumanji in 1995. Then we have Stephen S. Chen playing the role of Jimmy. Stephen S. Chen also appeared in Jonah Hex 2010.
That was a terrible movie.
I just remember Megan Fox wears lingerie the entire film. Nothing else, just lingerie. Which I thought was hilarious. Then we have... that lost my place here for a second. We have Kate O'Hare playing the role of Barbara. Kate O'Hare also was in the film Suspect in 1987. Then we have Mark Conway playing the role of Caleb Harrison. Mark Conway also appeared in Major Payne in 1995. And then finally we have David L. King playing the role of Derek Hastings. David L. King also appeared in the film Blackish in 2014. Oh, that's a TV show, Blackish. In 2014 to... I don't know how long that show ran. But it's
might still be on. I don't know.
It could still be on for all I know. I don't know. Not the intended demo for that movie. Yeah, I've heard good things, though. And that follows the cast list of Guarding Tess. So, Jimbo, we can kind of jump into some of the trivia notes and give a kind of thoughts on the film, but we'll have more to talk about, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about the actual movie for a second, because there's not a lot of trivia for this movie. Mm-hmm. So, basically, Nicolas Cage is a Secret Serviceman. He has come to the end of his
tour
of war.
Tour of war, guarding Miss Tess Carlisle.
Right. So he's going back to the office to see where he can go next.
Yeah.
And he goes in and he meets. He said, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm done." He's like, "Hopefully, I can go move up somewhere else, different post or something."
Something more active, more demanding of his role.
He's like, "Well," he's like, "Actually," he's like, the President of the United States has asked that you...
As a personal favor, that you go on another tour of protecting Tess Carlisle.
He's like, I'm not doing that.
And he's like, absolutely not. I cannot stand this woman for another minute.
He's like, but the President of the United States would really, really appreciate if you did. Yeah. So the thing about Tess Carlisle is she is a first lady. Yeah. Her husband, the president, had died of a heart attack, I do believe, if I remember right, while he was serving in office. Yeah,
pretty recently too, as like the current president is who was the vice president to that president. So like he's either in like his first or second term as president right now, through Tess Carlisle's husband passing away, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. So, needless to say, the president always takes care of Tess, and. I do believe he gets a phone call several times throughout the movie. He's like,
from the president.
He's like, sir, he's like, Doug, the president's on the phone for you. He's like, Doug, Miss Carlisle, called me up and said that there was some problems going on there. And he's like, oh, no, sir. He's very respectful.
Did you damage your flowers? No. It was just a flower, sir. Oh, how many were there? Just one flower. Right. And you tore it up. I just removed the bud. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so... But the thing is, none of the Secret Service men like her. She's got some really quirky rules. She doesn't leave the house. She always stays up in the room, has like breakfast and all that. Well, once he comes back after begrudgingly taking the job again by orders of the President of the United States, as one should, goes back up there and he starts talking to her, and he's like, "Why me? Why me?"
Yeah.
I'm leaving. And she's like, well,
I just like you.
Yeah. So I remember, vaguely in the movie where they're downstairs and they're eating their breakfast, and she comes down and is like, hey, boys, I'll have this. And they're like, she's out of her room. Yeah. She's basically been holed up in there.
As a hermit.
And she's like, oh, by the way, we're going to be going to the opera tonight. They go to the Nicolas Cage and her go to the opera. Yeah. And, she falls asleep up there. She's snoring. He's trying to wake her up.
Yeah. And he's trying to do it casually without doing it, but he moves her chair back so at least she won't be seen by the public while she's sleeping during the opera. And while he's pulling the chair back, he actually hits the what's the little lip there on the carpet. Hits the lip of the carpet, and it causes the chair to jostle, and it wakes her up, and she immediately like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, and she drops berating him as they're exiting. Don't you ever do that to me. You embarrassed me. And then she goes out, and the whole public's there just, can we have
They're so happy to see her.
Right, and Nicolas Cage is obviously looking around the crowd, making sure
everything's
safe. Too close, because he does still do his job, which I like, even though she's a terrible person to him. But then, she's like, oh, well, we're going to go golfing. And he's like, golfing?
It's middle of winter, by the way.
Right. So they go out golfing. She always... Oh, and by the way, I do believe it was when they were on their way to the opera. She's like, well, I'm going to drive. And they're like...
No, she insisted on sitting on the right side of the car.
Oh, yeah.
It's policy that everyone sits on the left side behind the driver.
Well, I mean, because of a sniper or whatever.
Yeah, no one wants to get JFK.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's like, you can't do this. So he's like, well, we're not moving this car until you do it. So they sat there, I don't know for how long.
Minutes. Yeah. Minutes of just begrudging silence until she finally moves slightly to the middle.
Yeah, at least kind of compromise, you know. So, but that comes into play later on in the movie too. She's hired several people that work for her that she specifically hired, like her chauffeur. So he's kind of caught in the middle where it's, do I do what the Secret Service says, or do I stay because she hired me and this is my job to do what she says? I don't work for the Secret Service.
Yeah, but at the same time, caught between rock and a hard place between two authorities that are very uncompromising of their values.
Right.
Yeah.
But to get to, so she's been locked up. She's now out running around. And she always has this thing. She tells the chauffeur, pull off. She always takes off when Nicolas Cage is out of the car, getting gas, paying for something. And it's just a thrill ride to her.
Yeah.
So then he has to call it in to the police.
who are then laughing at him for basically a little old lady basically eluded him, a Secret Service agent, and it's very, very funny right there. And there's so many like great little details in this film too. I love they all get in the car to chase her down, and they realize they left the chef behind at the gas station. Yeah, it just comes out and is like, oh god.
Yeah, but that's they have grown this bond together, and their chemistry on screen is really good too. Mm-hmm. But they've grown this bond together, and what the audience doesn't know till a little bit later in the movie is that she's dying. You see several. I think it's her brain scans.
An inoperable brain tumor,
right? Yeah. And
there's even a foreshadowing that in the earlier film where she says, like, I have 3 things to tell you. One of them is true and 2 of them are a lie. And she says, I have purchased your men a Scud missile launcher. Yeah. I have an inoperable brain tumor. Or we're going to the opera Thursday night. And it turns out the opera's true, but as we go further in the film, too, we discovered that the inoperable brain tumor is also true, unfortunately.
I wonder if the Scud missile was true, too.
The Scud missile launcher.
It would put it past me.
The one deleted scene that cost them $10 million.
Well, and here's something else. Her estranged son comes home, and he's asking her for an absurd amount of money for this startup company,
like a resort hotel deal.
And she's like, she's happy to see him, but then once he starts going in why he came to see her just for money, she's like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And
he gets really mad, and he's outside, kicking stuff and all that, which Kyle, later on in the movie, as we'll find out, where she's like, I want to go have a picnic by the lake. And he's like, it's the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, and I don't want a bunch of people. I just want you there and my driver, so.
Well, we skip over one portion where basically the first time that Tess Carlisle goes on a joyride without the Secret Service detail and causes that whole mischief thing where he calls the police. Nicolas Cage's Doug Chestnut comes back in and says, hey, we're going to fire your driver, absolutely. You cannot let this happen. And they have a huge fight about this. And then Tess Carlisle is reminded by Doug Chestnut that, like, hey, you don't need Secret Service. You can say no to this. And so Tess Carlisle calls that bluff and says, absolutely, fine. I'm going to get rid of my Secret Service detail, which has the second call from the U.S. president then proceeding like, hey, I just heard Tess Carlisle decline to have Secret Service detail watch over and keep her protected.
Yeah. Do you know why she would do that?
Yeah. No, sir. No, sir. I have no idea.
He's like, Doug, I don't want to have another phone call.
Exactly. I need you to fix this right now. And so then they have this whole thing back and forth where the Secret Service agent is outside her gate waiting for her to leave and then like trying to give her a second layer of protection on top of that. Then eventually Tess Carlisle and Doug Chestnut have a kind of a coming to heart moment where they go out to a diner and have some food and then like get to know each other better and kind of establish their relationships. And that like Tess Carlisle has always she's a widow now and she never had a strange relationship with her children, and actually it seems like she's developed a maternal bond with her and Doug Chestnut and all the Secret Service details she has, and they're hired there, including the staff. She also has a chef, 2 chefs, and an assistant, and then the actual driver herself. So, and then we have later on in the film, it's revealed. So through that little coming to heart moment, she takes Secret Service agents back in to the home to watch over her, and then they get the announcement that the president's going to come for a visit to the local library, basically like that, for some kind of political, whatever campaign.
And that poor librarian, because he's like, well, here's the room where we'll be having this set up and this up. She's like,
oh, that's a great idea.
He's like, what do you think?
However,
he's like, what do you think? She's like, oh, that's fine. Yeah.
What if we did this 12-step plan of my idea?
But I would have it over here in this ballroom. And he's like, and it's like 2 days away or something.
Yeah. Just shows how well she works too, because like you can tell, like she's had an entire career of basically being the first lady to her husband and also getting everything she actually wants done. Really kind of like the brains behind every operation for. You can imagine that her husband, as a politician, got a lot of things done, but like anytime anything really needed done, Tess Carlisle probably stepped in and got it done for him.
Right.
Because she just has a will of personality that is so hard to say no to.
So that brings us to where she says, Doug, I want to go on a picnic. I'm dying. I want to go on a picnic. I want to eat out here by this lake.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want a bunch of people following us. So it's her chauffeur drives Nicolas Cage and her
to the middle of a grass field, basically like that too.
By a lake, and he has like his own little like portable table. The card table sets it up and has tea and all that. So
Eventually, she falls asleep while standing outside in the middle of winter, and so Doug Chesnick carries her to the car and then goes to pick up the table in the car there. And then you see, as soon as he gets the final chair, the car takes off.
And you're thinking, oh, she's pulling this trick on him once again because he's
going
mad.
On a free joyride. And I love this small little detail, even though this is a dramatic moment. But I love a small detail where he gets so mad he throws the chair on the ground, and then the very next scene you see him still carrying the chair all the way to the gas station because despite how mad he gets and how much
he gets the table in there, right?
Yeah, he gets the table something like that there. He just goes back for that one last chair, but he throws that table on the ground too. But because he has this bond with Tess Carlisle that even he doesn't really fully understand because it's a mother-son relationship for sure. But even then, he knows he'll upset her if he doesn't bring back the chair. So he walks the entire chair all the way to the gas station. And they don't make any comment about it. It's just in the scene. But I love it to death.
And this is funny because he has to call the police once again and let them know. And he's actually calling Washington that, hey, I've lost her.
Because eventually she's gone for more than 12 hours.
At this point, who did you think drove off with her?
Oh, gosh. Jimbo, this is the moment I got to be real with you. I've probably seen this movie probably more than 30 or so times, so I can't remember a time I didn't know the entire plot of this film.
Well, when I was watching it, to me, I thought it was her son because the way that he had left the house, mad. I thought maybe, hey, if I kidnap my mom and ransom her, I can still buy this property.
Yeah.
So, come to find out, it was actually the chauffeur, the guy that had been she had hired. And it was his brother and sister-in-law?
His brother and sister-in-law. Yeah,
so
devised the plan.
They end up finding out because the
Doug
the chauffeur's in the hospital.
Yeah,
and he comes in. Doug Chesney comes in and he's like, "Hey, where'd you get those marks on you?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "They burnt me with something." And it's got a little thing and. Nicolas Cage starts putting two together, and he's like, "That's the cigarette lighter."
Yeah, he realized that Tess Carlisle, when she was being kidnapped, grabbed the cigarette lighter and actually burned the backside of his neck. And at first, the CIA thought it's some Arab terrorist symbolism or something like that too. But then Chesney figured out no, it's definitely the cigarette lighter. And so they go to the hospital with the cigarette lighter and compare the marks and verify for sure. It's oh yeah, Tess Carlisle absolutely burned him in the back of the neck with this, and he's the kidnapper.
This is probably the best part of the movie. Nicolas Cage knows it's him. So he pulls out his gun in the middle of the hospital and points it to his toes, and he's like, "Look," he's like, "You got to count of 5. He's like, "I'm going to start shooting."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, man."
Absolutely not.
And he goes, "Well, kapow!"
Kapow! Immediately shoots him in the toe.
He's like, "I ain't got time for this." He's like, "You shot," and the FBI agent's like,
"Oh my God!" Because there's another FBI, and you're like,
"Doug, you can't be doing that.
You're in so much trouble."
I'm not telling you again. I'm counting again. So, which comes into play later on in the movie, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. So anyway, they find out where his brother, I guess, took her. Well, they have her buried alive, basically, in the middle of this field.
Yeah, in the middle of a barn.
Yeah. And there's just a little bit of air thing, and to come find out that she's been down there for 22 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they start digging away in there, and come to find out that she's down there. She's barely breathing. So they call in a helicopter and all that. And by this time, they have called in the actual feds from Washington.
They investigate all that kind of stuff too.
And they bring in this helicopter, and they got her in that thing, and they're getting ready to airlift her out of there. And Nicolas Cage and his the Secret Service want to go on the airplane, and the Washington people are like, "No, sorry, there's no room. We cannot take you in this."
Yeah.
And so they get ready to take off, and then the pilot or one of the people in the plane is like, because they're walking away sad, dejected. They're like, "Is there a dog here?"
Then you see the helicopter take off, and then 20 seconds later, it's immediately coming back down, which. The degree of which, on the third act, there's a degree of whimsy to almost some of the narrative going on too. But they take off, and then I guess Tess Carlisle was like, "Absolutely not! You got to land this thing right now, because I'm not going anywhere without my Secret Service detail." Right. And so they then open the door and then start yelling, and then you see this game of telephone between people yelling to one another for Doug Chesnick all the way down to where Doug Chesnick finally walked you basically walked a football field in 20 minutes in 20 seconds. I mean, so good for him on that. Good cardio for that man. But then Doug Chesney comes back and then says Tess Carlisle refused to leave without her Secret Service detail, and he says like, oh yeah, okay, well we're a Secret Service detail, and so she kicks off like all these other like high-ranking CIA operatives, and I think even some like politicians or something like that too, kicks them off the helicopter just so they can let these Secret Service detail come in like that.
And I love where she says, "Oh, you found me."
Yeah,
and it
took you so long. The cigarette lighter was so obvious.
Yeah. And she said, "I heard you shot a man." She's like, "Did you kill him?" He's like, "No, man.
You shot him in the toe."
Shot him in the toe.
Like, oh, honey, after all of that practice.
She shot the toe off, yeah. She's like, "You're terrible," or whatever. So she's still berating him. But I think by doing that, that shows the motherly love to him because she's kind of ribbing him there.
Yeah, ribbing him.
But I laughed so hard when she said, "You got to be kidding me! Like you shot a toe, you didn't kill the man."
Yeah. And then we're kind of like into we move on to the hospital, in which case we kind of hit like a little bit of an epilogue scene too, where Tess is finally ready to leave the hospital, and she gets a call from the President of the United States, and then Tess Carlisle informs the President that under no circumstances is he to be charged for any of the crimes he committed to rescue her, right? And that if anything should ever happen to her, that he'd be taken care of. And the President's just like, "No, yes, ma'am."
Yeah. Basically, so even the President knows what kind of woman she is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great movie though. So
yeah,
let's dive into a little bit of
some of the trivia here.
Yeah. So George Clooney actually auditioned for just one line in this movie, but it never made it to the screen. So he had one little.
It would be hilarious to see a George Clooney cameo.
Man, what was it? 94? Yeah, probably right at the height of his. What was it? That ER.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah,
the scenes from the nominating convention for President Carlisle is snippets because she actually sits down and watches some old video of her husband's speeches and stuff from some of like the conventions and stuff. But it's from the Republic Convention in 1984. You can briefly see a Reagan-Bush sign in the crowd.
Oh.
So that's pretty cool. It was actually real footage.
That's cool.
Actors,
effective use from like right there.
Mm-hmm. Actors James Rebhorn and Austin Pendleton both previously appeared in My Cousin Vinny in 1992. Cast members Susan Blomart, who was played by Kimberly Cannon, and Harry Lennox, who played Secret Service Agent Kenny Young, later have starred together on NBC's television series The Blacklist as Mr. Kate Kaplan and Mr. Kate Kaplan and Deputy FBI Director Harold Cooper, respectively. So, you ever watch The Blacklist?
No, I've been meaning to get around to it though, just because I think it's a Michael Mann film, and I want to check out. I'm a big Michael Mann fan. Michael Mann fan.
Jeez. The TV series.
Yeah, the TV series. Really I'm going to check that out, but sometime we'll get around to it. I remember like Harry Lennox too. He plays one of the CIA little operators there, who only has like I think maybe 1 or 2 lines of dialogue. But I remember watching him on like the show The Dollhouse for like 2 seasons and a bunch of other shows where it's like, oh, he's a great actor. And now he played. He was the Martian Manhunter in the Man of Steel and the Justice League films. Yeah. So
the President calls Doug Chesnick to inform him that Tess Carlisle has refused Secret Service protection. The President refers to Tess Carlisle as a national treasure. Ironically, Nicolas Cage later starred in the National Treasure
film franchise.
Yeah. Great movies too. Yeah. Those might be some of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies. They're really good.
They're incredibly strong. Way better than Having a Right to Be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cast members John Rosilius and Nicolas Cage a few years later both co-starred in Con Air in 1997. Stars Shirley MacLaine and Nicolas Cage became great friends while filming due to their mutual love of animals and would go on to co-adopt many animals together, including a ferret named Whiskers and a zebra named Mr. Zed.
That's such a lovely story. I'm so happy about that.
How do you co-adopt?
I have no idea. For a few months lives in one house, a few months lives in another house. That could be the thing. I have no idea. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, granted, it's been 30 years, so it's probably those animals are long gone. But yeah, Shirley MacLaine's still alive, still acting today, even, which is incredible.
I think she's going to be 90 this year.
91 or 92, I think, somewhere around there. Yeah, legendary actress.
Not all of the design changes made by the movie's art department were designed to give elegance to the surroundings of Tess Carlisle. Because of the uncharacteristic rainy and snowy Maryland winter, muddy outdoor locations were upholstered with plywood painted green or brown and covered with earth and green painted hay. I guess for grass.
Yeah. Pretty impressive. There's a lot of just this movie has so many cool tones to it in terms of color wise, like that too. It really is like calming kind of like the film too. I watch this film whenever I get sick. Really, it's a good chicken noodle soup kind of movie.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
A significant landmark in Maryland, USA was decorated for the film. This was the beautiful 2,500-seat Maryland Theater, which was built during the 1910s. It is located in Hagerstown, which is about an hour's drive northwest of Baltimore. For Guarding Tess, the theater's interior remained largely unchanged except for richly draped curtains, which were installed to adorn the VIP boxes. In the lobby, however, entire walls were repaneled and the floor was plushly recarpeted.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Good for them.
The stately home of Tess Carlisle in the film was built in the early 1800s in the style known as Second Federal. The building was named Laborore, Laboroere, is the name of it, in 1869, and was so called after the owner's wife. Since then, it has undergone several alterations, and at the time the movie was made, the latest alteration was for Guarding Tess. Wings and porticos were added, and the kitchen was fitted with old-fashioned, elegant glass-fronted kitchen cabinets. Of the house, the movie's production designer Peter S. Larkin once explained, the house was altered to suggest the presidency without really being part of it. So, you can imagine.
I think it worked.
There is a director cameo by Hugh Wilson. The film's director is the voice of the president. The character is addressed as Harold by Tess Carlisle in the movie, but in the picture's closing credit is billed as President.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so official publicity for the film from the picture's press kit in 1994 declared that at the time of this movie, there were more former American presidents and former first ladies alive than there had ever been in the country's history. Director and co-writer Hugh Wilson said at the time that all of them were entitled to protection for the rest of their lives, adding at this very moment, there could be a whole contingent of Secret Service people sitting around Lady Bird Johnson's house or driving down Rodeo Drive with Nancy Reagan. The agent in the front seat would have a sawed-off shotgun between his knees.
Oh, wow. That's frightening. Yeah.
Doing research for the movie, writer-director Hugh Wilson, in talking with Secret Service agents, became fascinated with the protection details functioned. He was especially intrigued by the dilemma presented when VIPs grow wary of the ever-watched presence of guards. He said this is an invasion of privacy no matter how delicately it's handled.
Mm-hmm. I certainly understand that.
The picture was filmed on location through the American state of Maryland and in the USA nation's capital city of Washington, D.C., as Kyle had explained before. The movie in 1995 was nominated for an American Comedy Award for Funniest Actress in a Motion Picture for Shirley MacLaine, but Kyle, she lost out to who?
Oh, I have no idea.
In 94. Jamie Lee Curtis for True Lies.
Oh, that's an excellent film in its own right, too.
So which one would you give the award to?
Shirley MacLaine.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's Shirley MacLaine, sorry.
And last but not least, writer-director Hugh Wilson learned that Secret Service agents have their own frustrations. This is especially when they are regarded as little more than gophers with guns. Inviting screenwriter Peter Torokevi to work with him, the pair then began writing the screenplay about the delicate relationship between the protected, which is a former first lady, and the protectors, the Secret Service. So they actually went in and discussed with some Secret Servicemen the frustrations of being a gopher, basically. Hey, give me a glass of water, whatever.
Definitely kind of see that, taking them for granted kind of idea of what's the actual importance of their job. And it's like, yeah, they're a protection detail, nothing else. They're not here to serve you as genuine, lifelong slaves, basically.
Right. All right, Kyle, let me have your review ratings. Guarding Tess.
I'm completely biased in my review. I absolutely love this film. This is one of the earliest films that I kind of fell in love with growing up, and I watched it all the time when I was sick. That or Smoking the Bandit, things like that.
Wow, Guarding Tess or Smoking the Bandit.
Smoking the Bandit. Depending if I want to laugh or I want to feel a little sad. But yeah, Guarding Tess is a 10 out of 10 for me. Absolutely. I love this film to death. I think it's great. I think Shirley MacLaine's performance in here is amazing. I think Nicolas Cage also does an incredible job in his performance as well, and I think it's a really kind of near perfect and tight script that gets the job done in many respects, and it's overall feels pretty flawless to me. So this film, like I said, completely biased. This is just a film that I love to watch personally, and really can't get enough of, and I'll probably watch it dozens of more times throughout my entire life. So love it to death.
So the audience could say Kyle will be sick dozens and dozens of more time while he is live.
Probably. Or just a day that I feel down, I'm going to watch Guarding Tess. Why not?
One of the rainy day movies.
It just makes me feel better. Yeah, it's just, in general, just love the film to death. Love the film to death. It's incredible. I think it's near perfect for me. So yeah, I loved it to death, and like I said, yeah, watched it many more times in my life, and really do enjoy it every time I do. And like I said, there's so many little details I love about it. They're great. But yeah, that's my little review of it, because I can't be critical of it at all. There's nothing wrong with it in my eyes.
This was my first time watching this movie, because I mean, I had seen it before, like the poster, when you go on like Vudu or anything and you see the posters or anything. So I was like, it's one of those movies eventually I'll get around to seeing. And not until did you suggest this did I actually watch it. For me, I think Shirley MacLaine did an outstanding job with this. Nicolas Cage did a really, really good job with this too. I'm not as partial to it as you are, but being my first time watching it, it held my attention. It's just a feel-good movie.
Yeah, truly.
It's just like makes you feel good.
Very, very simple, very wholesome. Really.
For me, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's very well done. I'll probably watch it again eventually. Very well done. Acting's great. The back and forth between Shirley MacLaine and Nicolas Cage, hilarious,
impeccable.
And then with the president calling every so often, he's like, Doug, why am I getting a call again from Tess Carlisle? What's going on? Can you just handle this for me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
It feels very down to earth, but just a touch of like silly, kind of wholesome whimsy or just like absurdity, just a little bit there, just a dash and add a little flavor to it. And I love it to death.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That is Guarding Tess. If nobody has ever watched this movie, I highly recommend you watch it at least once.
Oh yeah.
It's a quick 96 minutes too.
Yeah. Brief runtime, easy to watch. It's just good film.
Right. So if you'd like to follow us, we are the Tragedy Cinema Podcast on Facebook. If you want to leave us a review on Apple or Spotify, we will read it on the air. If you want to reach out to us, we are the tragedycinema@gmail.com. Kyle, any closing remarks you would like to do or say or anything else? We do have a live show coming up soon, October 26th.
Yeah.
And Lebanon, Indiana again at the
getting
old...
closer and closer to that each recording.
Right. So be on the lookout for your free tickets that you'll need to get a hold of us to get. All we're asking is for a canned food donation. And as we get closer and closer to it, we'll release more and more details. But it's going to be a fun time once again with all the kiddos up there. So
yeah. That's I think we're coming to a wrap, though.
No. We're coming to a close.
A close.
How long have you been doing this?
Too long, Jimbo.
So and with that being said, I think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap.
And cut. Movies. I had no idea.